Okay, I am learning the stack. This is a Ubuntu desktop environment that I set up in a virtual machine. This is going to be my lab environment, project environment. Yeah, it's a pretty fresh installation. I don't have much going on here besides OBS Studio, which I'm using to record this video. I just installed a VLC media player because I couldn't watch the video that I was recording. I downloaded Visual Studio Code. I don't plan on using that necessarily right now or anytime soon, but it's just something for me to download. I'll be using it at some point to get more into Python, the programming language Python, so that I can do some scripting, get into automation. After this operating system installation, I hooked it up with my Gmail that I'm using for this YouTube. The purpose of me setting up this virtual machine with a separate Gmail account is to kind of practice some security, keeping my private accounts away from the public view. That way I just don't put any of my data at risk. I did come on here a little bit ago and I set up a GitHub account with this email. I do have my own personal GitHub, but I'm going to use this on this virtual machine just so I can keep everything a little separate. Yeah, I don't have anything created yet. I should probably create my first repository here. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's just call it learning the stack. Okay, it's available. Learning slash progress repository. Just kind of winging it here. Yeah, we can keep this public. Yeah. I add a README. Kind of write down an introduction in there. I don't know what git ignore. Okay, git ignore tells git which files not to track. I'll just leave that alone. I don't feel like I need a license, at least not right now. I'm not coding anything just yet. Okay. Got our first repository. I could go ahead and edit the README. Okay. Let's see. A little bit about myself. I am active duty Navy sonar technician with about 7 years of service. I plan on getting out. Plan on transitioning out of the Navy in 2 years and getting into the civilian tech sector for, let's call it network engineering. I am a college student at WGU, pursuing a bachelor's in cloud and network engineering. The bachelor's I'm working on specifically has a extra focus on Cisco, which is neat. That's going to give me a few Cisco certifications when I get through that. Yeah. I currently hold the CompTIA A Plus and Network Plus certifications. Will be obtaining LPI Linux cert. Linux. See here, CCNA, DevNet Associate, and Cyber Ops Associate. And then I will be earning CompTIA Cloud Plus. I'm not necessarily coming up with these certifications on my own. They are part of my degree plan, which is pretty great about WGU. They include actual certifications than the degrees. Okay. Let's see here, I'm looking at my phone for something. I'll definitely clean up this README file, but so right now let me just get some of my thoughts out. I guess I can make a little note about my current environment. I am using Fedora Workstation. A kid ran into me and I started mistyping. Fedora Workstation. That's my main desktop environment. Well, GNOME is my desktop environment, but Fedora Workstation is the Linux distro that I'm using. Let's see. Ubuntu is my virtual machine. It's the LTS. I think it's 26.04 is the current version, but I mean, we could check that. Let's see here. I wrote some stuff down earlier. Current projects. Well, I could put some current projects. This virtual environment is I'm always misspelling environment. I'm doing some cloud labs, but I'm doing that on my main desktop mostly, so you guys don't see my account information for those. learning the Linux essentials. I have used Linux as a desktop for like quite a while now, but I'm definitely not an expert or anything. I've used a few different distributions. I've distro hopped quite a bit. I started out with Ubuntu, like on a virtual machine back when I had like Windows as my main actual operating system. Um, started experimenting with Linux, yeah, with Ubuntu on a virtual machine. I liked it. I ended up figuring out how to dual boot. Um, this is like 2 years ago, maybe. Um, I didn't really know that much about computers, but I knew I wanted to get into it and try to pursue a degree, pursue a career um, outside of the Navy, doing something IT related. I was working on an associate's degree in cybersecurity, and I was about halfway through that, but I dropped out of that program a few months ago so that I can pursue network engineering. Um, yeah, I was dual booting Linux. Kept going a little bit deeper and deeper into what you can do with Linux. I was looking at the trends on YouTube and stuff of Arch Linux and where I seen your distros. Um, yeah, I had a SSD, like a external SSD that I set up Arch Linux on and managed to get through that installation process and riced it a little bit with like Hyperland and crazy, tiling and just uh, it was a lot of work. I did like the Arch Linux like system design. Uh, it gave quite a lot of freedom, but it's very very broken all the time. Like always in the terminal, trying to fix stuff and googling how to fix things, and I'm trying to get very serious about my learning, um, and I needed a stable work environment to do that in. So I switched over to Fedora Workstation because it seemed like a very, very popular and stable, it's the important part, stable system. So I'm doing that. And I'm gonna run virtual machines for a lot of my stuff because I don't want to break my actual computer. Oh, that's one thing. I am running my virtual machine in boxes. I think it's called GNOME boxes. Um, I think it's only available on GNOME desktop environments. But boxes is pretty cool. Makes the running a virtual machine on Linux very, very straightforward. I'm not necessarily going to show that off right here because I don't want to show my actual desktop. I'm using OBS Studio to record this. OBS Studio is pretty cool. It's pretty easy to figure out. Looks a little crazy if you're not used to recording software, but after a few minutes I was able to figure it out. Let's see. Current projects. Let's do planned content for this channel. So maybe we can do some lab walkthroughs. I'll have to figure out how I want to do my cloud labs on here. Maybe some Linux tutorials. Yeah, we could do that. Go through some commands, what they mean. Networking projects. I wrote that down. That'll be easy to set up on here. I'll probably do that after this video. Maybe the next video could be going through some Cisco stuff. I'll probably use this Gmail to make a Cisco account, Cisco Learning Academy. Download Packet Tracer, and then I'll show you guys how to set up like a simple little home lab type project on Cisco software. Some goals. How about get better at creating videos for the public? I get a little nervous talking on here. This isn't normally how I speak to people. But I'm just looking at my computer screen and talking, so it's a little strange for me. Sorry if you hear my kid in the background there. Yeah, build up my Linux, cloud, networking skills, and portfolio. Because I mean, the ultimate goal is get a job in network engineering. Goal, get a job in networking 2 years from now. I mean, not exactly 2 years, but I mean pretty much. I got about 2 years left in the Navy. This is where we're starting. This isn't my first time hopping on the computer to do stuff. I've been learning a bunch of stuff for the last like year, 2 years. This is my first like public project here, so we're getting started with this. See where we're at 2 years from now. I think that's it for now. I'm going to go ahead and hit commit. Update. Yep. Commit directly. Okay. Commit changes. Boom. The README file. That's cool. All right. Well, that turns out a little different on here than it did on the previous page. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and stop the video. I will talk to you guys next time.